Welcome to Oilers Nation Every Day with your hosts, Tyler and Liam.
I do love watching the Oilers come back all the time. I just really wish the Oilers didn't have to come back all the time. Let's get into it with the lead. The Edmonton Oilers are the best 6-on-5 team in the NHL.
There's no doubt about it. I don't even need to see the stats. I just know it.
But why?
But I hate that I know it.
And I hate that they have to be the best 6-on-5 team in the NHL. Regardless, it is a victory edition of Oilers Nation Every Day. So welcome into the show. We are live from the Sports Closet studio. Check them out online at sportscloset.ca. We are also a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Liam, I will give you the answer to who is the best 6-on-5 team in the NHL. Wow, this is actually pretty surprising.
Colorado.
We're doing with your goalie pulled, so not the other team. But it is actually the New York Islanders.
The Cardiac Kids, that makes sense. I could see that. Where are the Oilers? They got to be top 5.
Yeah, so the Islanders have 10 6-on-5 goals. The Oilers have 6.
The Islanders have 11?
10.
And the Oilers have 6.
Yeah.
And what's the gap?
The Oilers are tied for 10th.
Wow.
But if you go off of rates...
We'll finish top 5. We'll get there.
I hope not. If you do it on a goals per 60 basis, so based on how much time you spend with the goalie pulled, the Oilers actually fall to 15th, Liam. Interesting. I thought they'd be better than that.
I wonder how much... Yeah, I thought they would be too. Mm-hmm. But I guess also we've been in a lot of games where they are not in them.
Yeah,
they're not good enough. Also, very cheeky comment from Josh.
Okay.
So does Liam just get the spray tan now? How dare? I won yesterday.
You won yesterday.
I was the only one to win.
Jay and I didn't.
I'm rolling. I'm 3-0 since the break. I'm Matt Savoy in this bitch.
He is having a great year. And the fact he didn't get a point on that first or that second Draisaitl goal yesterday, no, the first Draisaitl goal, absolutely criminal.
He did get the third assist. Draisaitl, Batherson got both assists, and Nick Jensen scored.
I'll be honest, Liam. And this is to the surprise of nobody in the YouTube chat, I was in some pretty dark spots yesterday during that hockey game. I look, and 1-0, bang, they respond. It's 1-1. You're thinking, okay, great. 2-1, son of a bitch. Power play goal. I get there was some frustration for that one on Ingram. It went off Emberson.
Did it? I was upset about that one.
Yeah, the power play one, it went off Ember. You can tell if they showed a reverse angle of it.
Okay, fair
enough. And it went
then.
off Emberson's knee, and like you could tell Ingram had it, and then it deflected up and right over his glove.
Because I thought, why did he, he almost moved out of the way of it. But I guess, if you're doing that motion, you think about it, he definitely was trying to, tuck.
Yeah, he thought that was coming lower than it was.
Yeah, fair enough then. I'll let him off.
So then it's, again, hey, 2-2. Draisaitl ties it up. You get a couple lucky ones there, I think, with Allmark not holding onto the puck and all of that.
Draisaitl was so good yesterday.
He was so good. Man, coming out, you know what? I forgot to do the ad read. So, again, game day breakdowns on Oilers Nation Every Day are brought to you by our friends at Derek Dodge. It's the beginning of a new chapter for Derek Dodge as they are under new ownership, bringing a fresh approach, new energy, and a renewed focus on customer experience. And right now, they have an unbeatable deal. With every vehicle purchase, you will receive a trip for 2 to Las Vegas. Leave the lot with your new vehicle, and flights and accommodations for a trip for 2 to Las Vegas are on them. That is tough to beat. Derek Dodge, 6211 104th Street Northwest, or online at derekdodge.com. They get out of that first period tied up at 2, and I'm thinking, all right, you calm down. Mm-hmm. Your shitty starts behind you. Pedal to the floor. This Ottawa team is not playing as strong defensively as I kind of thought they would. And to the Oilers' credit, they did take it to them in the final 40 minutes.
They dominated them.
Shots were 24-13. They got the only 3 shots in the eventual overtime.
Well, in the third period, I think the Sens only had 2 shots.
3.
3. So, for a while, they were getting nothing.
Yeah. But it was honestly a story that we've seen way too much this year. That Drake Batherson goal to make it 3-2 early in the second period. Where the bleep is your D-zone coverage? How is that guy just allowed to walk to the back door and tap that puck in?
Yeah, wide open as well. And
wide open.
It's remarkable. And Knobloch made a comment in his postgame, which I thought was very interesting. I can't remember who asked the question. I think it was Reed Wilkins, and he said, what did you think of that in the sense of, like, he said, I kind of saw it in two parts. The first half was like absolute letdown defensively. Back half was you started pushing, but it was kind of your stars that were getting you over there, which is whatever. That's what they're kind of paid to do anyway.
That's what the Oilers are.
Yeah, and that's what they are. We don't need to complain about it. But Knobloch said, he's like, I have to rewatch the game. He's like, obviously I need to go and rewatch everything. But it certainly felt like there were some common denominators. So Walman was on the ice for the first goal against, which was a horrendous, unnecessary turnover from him. Put it right behind Razovic, right onto the stick of Thomas Chabot, and then couldn't defend it. And then the fourth one was also Walman as well, because he just like refused to play hard in front of his net. A lot of them did. It's not just Walman on that play, but like, the point is he was on for both those goals against. And then he got hurt in the third period.
But wanted to stay on the bench.
But they kept him on the bench, and
his ass got benched.
I'm wondering that too. Knobloch said they didn't really say anything, to be honest, but Walman seemed like the common denominator, and that worries me a lot.
Yeah, Pat, I know we're not going to play all the highlights because, again, we'll get flagged on YouTube. Do you have that fourth goal really quick? Because there was parts of this that just pissed me off to no end. Because the face-off goes Edmonton's way, Liam.
Yeah, oh, yeah, on the fourth goal.
On the fourth goal.
Yeah.
So, like, the third one, again, blown D-zone coverage. Connor McDavid's in frame. Not going to blame him for that, but again, it's the second straight game where it's like, oh my God, these absolute collapses defensively are happening with your best players on the ice. Like, they can't keep doing that. And on the fourth goal, they win the draw, and then Adam Henrique, and honestly, we're probably going to watch it a second time. I'll get you to pause a few things for me, Pat, but like, as this comes back to the start of the clip, pause it right after the faceoff there when Adam Henrique has a chance to clear it. It's insane that he doesn't like understand the space he has on this goal. Like they could have had possession immediately off the draw. And again, why does he whack that puck with one hand on his stick? They have a 3-on-2 if he picks that puck up cleanly and doesn't just do the one-handed whack. Can you run it back to the beginning again? Is that possible? I don't know what our capabilities are. Okay, look at this. They're going to win the draw. He's going to have it. And just makes a lazy play. Yeah. It's crazy. An NHL veteran makes that play. Run the clip. They win it back. It goes in front. And Jake Walman, for a second straight game, instead of getting the puck away from his net, tries to do the cutesy little, oh, here, you cover it up, Connor Ingram. Why are you doing that?
I don't know why anybody would think that is a good idea. I think
2 games now he's thought it's a good idea.
I think the last game against the Sharks, I can understand why you would look to get that into your goalie. Like, that one I think is...
That was a PK, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a penalty kill. I understand it to that extent. But that one to me really was baffling. But also too, like, the others defending the front of the net has plagued them the entire season. Yeah. From literally game 1, they have been awful in front of their goaltender, like right on the doorstep. And I just don't understand. Like, it just seems pretty straightforward. I think if you see that clip again, like, Frederick comes in and blows up his guy. Comes in, clears the net, gets one guy out of the play. Stastny's claiming for a penalty. You can argue if that was a penalty or not, but like, regardless, let's put a bit of muscle out there and play like you're men and not just boys playing Bantam hockey for the first time.
It's so painfully soft to watch.
And it's very frustrating. Yep. I just don't understand how we're at this point. And I think, too, I was on the Sauce this morning with Ryder and Lisa, and they were at the game, and Ryder was talking about how you could kind of see the visible frustration from Knobloch on the bench. And he's like, I watch him a decent amount when I go to the games. He's like, you don't see that anymore. And I think the fact that Knobloch is coming out and being like, there's common denominators here. Like, he's been frustrated. And we spoke about it with Steve Peters yesterday. It was like, it's kind of on the coach to make sure this is all working out. I think so too, but it does go both ways. The players have to show up for them. And I just can't believe how far this team has fallen. And they got Hyman had the quote yesterday too. Is like, no one's celebrating that win. Like, we're happy we won, but like, no one's celebrating that we got the win at the end of that. Because how do you do that? You can't just keep doing this every single night.
Eventually, you need to win some games 3-1.
Yeah. And hold a lead.
And Blake says, Walman's good, guys. Calm down. He has been garbage for the better part of a month now since he's come back from his injury. And I mean a month of like playing time. I know the Olympic break messes it up. Someone else said holding Walman accountable before Nurse is insane. Listen, I think that's a fair point, but I'm also not going to complain about accountability because they need more of it. Guys can't just keep putting forth these dog shit defensive efforts, and because they have a big slap shot or whatever, they get to keep playing a ton of minutes. Like that can't be how this works.
Yeah, I completely agree. And Walman is good, but I'm worried about him because he's making a lot of mistakes that to me seem like mental lapses, and I just think he's kind of fallen out of his groove here all of a sudden. I don't really understand how he's got to this point. Like even yesterday, like watch back that first goal, Jack Rosvic's wide open coming across the middle of the ice, and you put the puck behind him, and then all of a sudden it's just like you're there. And I feel like that wasn't the case at all when we first acquired him. And I just think he's not been able to get up to game speed since he returned from injury. I was really hoping those couple of goals against LA, and he obviously had a big one against San Jose too, would trend him in the right direction, but last night was worrisome. Hopefully it's just one game and he can bounce back on Friday against Carolina because he always got a bit of a stretch here. But yeah, it was tough to watch yesterday.
That Walman Bouchard experiment lasted 3 minutes, and then they just went back to Bouch and Ekholm. Yeah. They played 3:52 together yesterday at 5-on-5 and gave up the one goal. Then they put Walman with Stasny, and then they benched him, or he was hurt, one of the two.
Right. Yeah, 11 minutes.
Super frustrating. On the positive side of last night's game,
Walman did skate today too.
He wasn't hurt.
Yeah. Ekholm and Bouchard did not. But I'm sure it's just a maintenance. They've played a lot since coming back from the break, to be honest.
And again, you got a couple days off here, so letting guys rest up, that's not a big deal.
No problem.
Third period, that's where things turned for the better. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Zach Hyman, both with goals. Nuge opens it up on the power play, minute 52 in. It also duped the crowd. They thought it was a hat trick, but it went off of Nuge. So that one is good. Connor McDavid picks up an assist on that one. Power play does what an elite power play is supposed to do, and I'm done apologizing for it. Power play goes 2 for 3 yesterday, obviously the OT winner as well. When people are like, oh, you can't keep... Honestly, at this point, the Edmonton Oilers are not in a spot where you can bitch about how they win. I know Zach Hyman said, like, no one's happy about it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Every 2 points is absolutely massive right now.
Agreed.
However you get it, you get it. 6-on-5, they tie the game. Big celebration from Zach Hyman. Again, like, how they get these points, they need to play better going forward. And I don't want to sit here and, like, heap too much praise on them for how they played, but... that is a, like, wipe your forehead, holy shit, thank God we won.
Yeah, agreed.
Shout out to Brady Tkachuk in overtime.
What a dumbass.
What a dumbass.
This was idiotic, I think might be a polite way to put it. Like, why he felt any need to take down Connor McDavid in that moment is beyond me. Like, he clearly just panicked, but if you watch it too, I think he did lose his stick, which, sure... but he's still a stride away from catching Connor McDavid. Draisaitl's right next to him, as close as the two of us are right now. And then also, too, whoever the defenseman was, it might have been Shabbat Sanderson, whoever it was, is right in front of them. Like, it was a threat, of course. It's McDavid and Draisaitl coming down the wings and in an overtime. But for him to take him down like that was so unnecessary. And then also, too, for the Ottawa Senators to call a timeout for the Oilers, also brain dead.
Didn't make a ton of sense.
No, why they did that. And I think the Oilers were going to call the penalty, the timeout anyway during that. Like,
maybe
at the right time. But like, it was weird. Like, even Jack on the broadcast was like, they called the timeout. Like, you don't really see that.
Quickly, our Bright Dental Bright Moment of the game. Liam, it's brought to you by Bright Dental. Open Monday to Friday in St. Albert. Bright Dental is a Blue Diamond Invisalign provider, so you can schedule your free dental scan. Today, Bright Dental offers a full range of dental services, including same-day crowns. Give them a call or go online, brightdental.ca. Bright Moment of the game, Leon Draisaitl, the man that you are. A 5-point game for the Oilers' big German. MVP level performance last night from Leon Draisaitl. Obviously, he's not really in that conversation this year, but he dominated. First period, very noticeable with him on the ice. The Oilers doubled up the shot attempts at 5-on-5. He's great, and I'll give some more love to Matt Savoy, too, because his run out of this break, like, he's coming into his own, and I think as every game goes on, we talked about this yesterday with Jay, he's pushing himself to untouchable territory. I don't, like... unless there's some stunning, jarring trade out there, like you're not moving that guy unless it's a massive deal for a star level player. Like he's been that good.
Yeah, completely agree. It would have to blow your socks off. Similar to what I think it was the Kings, however long ago, they ended up giving up like guys like Braden Shannon, Wayne Simmons, but they got Jeff Carter and Mike Richards back in those deals. If you always got a deal like that, sure, see you later, Matt Savoy, but I don't think that's happening. But yeah, Draisaitl yesterday, and I think since coming back from the break, has been really good. It's good to see him put his money where his mouth is, to be honest, because he had a lot of things to say, and he stepped up. He was really good yesterday. Obviously, again, 5 points. Besides the, which game would it have been? I think it was the Anaheim game. He's been really, really solid.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with him. Savoy as well. Put him on the top line. I'm in on that. Get Nuge off the top line.
Ooh, Liam.
That first line has not been playing very well. A lot of their points are coming when they kind of break things up or power plays. And again, those still count the same. But
you're spicy. I think got to cool myself down.
Savoy. So since Savoy has come back, here's who he has assists to. So he has 5 assists. He has 1 goal. Draisaitl, Frederick, Emberson, Roswick, Nuge. Put the kid with anyone. It clearly does not matter.
He's just a good.
He's just playing really well. Yeah. So I'm in.
All right. Our guest today is Jeff Marek, one of our first 2 guests today. I know we don't have a ton of time with him, so let's not waste any. Jeff Marek's brought to you by Oodle Noodle. We are picking the winner of our Oodle Noodle Nation Vacation winner later on today. So if you're one of the people who entered, however you entered, stay tuned for that. OodleNoodle.ca or download the Oodle Noodle app to get in on some delicious rewards. Jeff Marek from The Sheet joining us right on the heels of a show. And Jeff, it's chaotic times around here. Things are happening. Deals are breaking.
Can I ask you guys a question? Because you guys are right there and close to it, so you feel the vibes. Like you get all of it. Did last night feel like it was must win for the Oilers? Like I'm watching this thing and I'm like, this feel like, and I'm not saying anything drastic necessarily would happen, but it felt like one of those games where, man, if Edmonton loses this thing, I'm not just wondering what the manager thinks, but I'm wondering what the owner thinks. Like, did it have that thing about it? Yes, like, you know what I'm getting at, guys? Like, you guys were there. Did it feel like that?
Before the show, Tyler said something to me and asked me if he should say it on the show, but now I think you're allowed to say it.
Well, I was going to say, if you want the temperature check of diehard Oilers fans, what did your dad text you after the win?
My dad texted me and said, Bouchard just saved Knobloch's job.
That's the temperature here.
Like, I'm not on an island here then, right?
No.
That's what watch this. I'm like, it feels like it. I think the guys are playing like it. Like, this is more than just a game on March 3rd, a few days away from trade deadline. Like, this has a certain, given, what's happened since the break, it had like a certain gravity to it that other Tuesday night games against the Ottawa Senators might otherwise not necessarily have. Okay, so I wasn't missing something then.
No.
Like, I'm not missing a vibe check here on, okay. Because that's what it kind of felt like.
We're in a different spot here in Edmonton, too, where, like, I think every game's going to have that kind of a feel because, listen, it's March 4th. I know we haven't hit the trade deadline yet. I'm on the out-of-town scoreboard watch. I'm taking a peek and going, hell yeah, Buffalo just beat Vegas and Colorado beat the Ducks for you. Like, that Pacific Division race, they're 4 points away from being out of a playoff spot or 4 points away from being in first place, Jeff.
No, I know, and that's why, like, if you're the Edmonton Oilers, again, like I've warmed up, like I've been mentioning the last couple of days, like I'm much more on board with the, Oilers can and should do something significant here, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Like, there's the Mangiapane situation, and that's gonna, get itself resolved. But when you look at, and Gregor had the great stat, the other day, Vegas hasn't beaten a playoff team going back to November 20th. Like, that is just like mind-boggling, and yet there they are. They find themselves on top, and Utah did themselves a real good bit of business last night against the Washington Capitals, and the Kraken continue. I think it's there for the Oilers, and when you have Connor and Leon, much like once upon a time when you had Sidney and Malkin, Pierre McGuire was making this point on Monday on the show, you have an obligation to do it. And you can't have any powder dry seasons. So I expect Sam Bowman to be, friskier than, bringing in Connor Murphy and then putting your feet up and saying, well, deadline's done, boys. Deadline's done.
Yeah, and I think that's music to the ears of Oilers fans. Obviously, if they do something stunning, Is it because everyone's kind of operating right now under the assumption that, hey, they're going to go get a third line center, and that's like the most likely move. But if it's something more surprising than that, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, the third line thing, we've been talking, like, it seems like every time the three of us get together, we talk about, like, okay, so you stand Bowman, you got to construct that third line, and so much of it depends on what you're doing with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, et cetera, et cetera. Is there a vibe, I wonder, about just leaving Josh Szymanski there, and maybe if you do you have one more swing at the goalie market? And here's the thing. I know it's like, oh God, here we go again. But I was mentioning this to Pagnotta today. No, Berkey today. It's one of my favorite lines about goaltenders. And you guys have heard all the cliches. If you have a goalie, it's 70% of your team. If you don't, it's 100. I always liked what Harry Sinden, the old Boston general manager, used to say about goalies. He said, goalies are like oxygen. I don't think about them until I don't have them. And then it's all that I can think about, right? I don't think about oxygen until I can't breathe. Like, does it feel like once again the Oilers are at the same place with their goaltenders, even though they've swapped them out? And I'll talk myself one step further and say, if we're having the same conversation and they swapped out the goalies, not unlike what Colorado did last year, maybe the issue itself isn't about goaltending. But it really feels like one of the worst things that could happen here is a lot of good work, and ask Montreal what this feels like. A lot of good work done by the team is undone by the goaltending.
Ask Ottawa about that too. I mean, we just got a first-hand look.
Ottawa's a great example. Yeah. Ottawa's a great example. I'll tell you what. Ottawa outside, and I ran into Steve Staios on Friday in Brantford. I was part of the Michael Andlauer celebrations, and I've been consistent. I've been saying this, for the past while. If they get like if Ottawa's getting saves this year, like just like average goaltending, they're not the best team in the East, but they're right behind Tampa, aren't they?
Yeah. We had Jason York on the show yesterday. He said, I was like,
what'd York Chop say?
Well, I asked him, I was like, if Ottawa gets in the playoffs, like they'd be a team I wouldn't want to play, because to me that would say that their goaltending has turned things around, because everything else is perfectly fine. So their goaltending has been brutal.
Yeah.
I think that team is so good, and I don't know why Anderson doesn't get more love than he does out there. I know, like, there's some wonderful stories on the blue line, and Werenski and Makar and Hughes, etc. Dana Rash is having himself a season with the Tampa Bay Lightning, but Jake Sanderson is one of the best defensemen in the NHL. I know Ottawa doesn't get the eyeballs that a lot of other teams do, but if Jake Sanderson played on the New York Rangers, you'd be betting everyone would be talking about him around the Norris Trophy every year. That guy is so good. That guy is so fantastic.
Should have been on the Canadian blue line, Jeff. I didn't like on the broadcast yesterday. They were like, "Oh, his grandparents in St. Albert."
I know.
It's like, come on.
Why is that guy not Canadian?
Hey, we almost had, wasn't Lane Hudson ready to defect when he didn't get invited to camp? And we're like, all right, so this is like the long term. You got the American and Brett Hull from Belleville, Ontario, and we'll take Lane Hudson. It's that long burn trade. Finally, we're getting around to getting our future considerations here in Canada, and it's Lane Hudson.
So you bring up the goalie thing. I want to ask what the forward because there's a name you wrote down. That's interesting, and it's Ryan O'Reilly. And then I sit there and I go, well, if they're going to swing big, do you maybe not want someone who's going to impact things higher up your lineup? Like if Bowman does decide to take a big hack at somebody and it's a surprising name, do you think it's just a better third line center than we expect, or is it a top line winger, not top six winger, top line winger?
Name that I come back to, and I think it's not a big name, but I think it can have a significant impact on the Oilers organization, and someone who's versatile, who can play center, can play the wing, can play a playoff style. Evan Rodriguez. Now, the Florida Panthers are OUT out, and they've been out for a while. Last couple of games have really cemented it, and I know we're talking a lot about AJ Greer and Sergei Bobrovsky, and I've told you my theories on Bobrovsky specifically. Would Evan Rodriguez not make a lot of sense on this team? I know it's not Ryan O'Reilly. I get it. I know it's not like a big name guy, But as far as like having impact and having the potential to have an impact in a lot of different situations, because he's kind of a Swiss knife, isn't he? Like that would be someone, and again, like Tyler, to your point, like I know I'm giving you a fraudulent answer because you're looking for like a high profile, like Vinny Trocheck, like big juicy name right here, like juicy. It's all, but man, Evan Rodriguez, I think would look so good on this team, and he can skate. He can skate with the big boys. Like I don't know, he's Stanley Cup and all of it. That's a name that I wonder about here with Edmonton as far as like potential fits from around the league. From teams that are out of it now. I know he's got one more year at $3 million. I don't know. That to me is a name that could make some sense for Edmonton. And again, this is assuming that Florida would want to part with him. If they do, then if I'm Stan Bowman, I'm in.
And he's got a year left too, so I think that would line up with a lot of things that the Oilers have seemed to like, or this regime, like getting guys with term or control and getting guys who are versatile and can play center or the wing. Like they seem to really value that. So that name lines up to me. I know we got to let you go right away, but there's one more thing that I want to bring up to you. And I thought it was so funny. And as you were saying it on DFO Live, I was like, oh, Oilers Twitter's going to go nuts with this. You're like, I'm not reporting, but I wonder about Darnell Nurse. What do you think our chat's been like the last 24 hours because of that, Jeff?
I know. Sorry, listen. I gotta listen. I should have worked with Elliot about saying things around trade deadline time. We all do. Yeah. Like everybody has had the conversation. Like everybody around the Oilers, people around the league, like everybody has had what is the future in Edmonton for Darnell Nurse conversation. I am not on an island out there whatsoever. So I get it. There are certain markets that you can light on fire quick. Vancouver's one, Edmonton is one, but I think that it like something like that lands because we've all had the conversation and we've all wondered about it, and the dynamic is an interesting one too because of bluntly how popular Darnell Nurse is with a lot of key players on that team. So I don't know. I think that's one that we've all wondered about, and I saw people go with it, yesterday on social. And if it's going to be Darnell Nurse, here's a trade, and I get it, I understand it. It's that time of year, but if you are going to make a whopper, of a deal, that's a name. That was a name that would make sense. But I'm sort of more of the, you know what? I do think do something significant here. That would be a name that would make a lot of sense, I think, for a lot of people. But again, I also measure that off with, I can also see them doing something smaller with a player like Evan Rodriguez.
Yeah, I like that Rodriguez name. Jeff, as always, appreciate you giving us some time. Boys. You're going to be hosting the big trade deadline show on Friday, so we look forward to that as well. 9 a.m. Mountain on the Daily Face-Off YouTube, and, of course, the sheet again tomorrow. Plenty of news bouncing around. Thanks for popping on.
Say hello to my man Bean.
Yeah, yes, we absolutely
and
DJ.
Liam, go V's.
Go V's. Thanks, Jeff.
See you, Jeff.
See ya.
Thanks, boys. Be good.
Jeff Marek from the Sheet, weekdays at 11 a.m. Mountain Time on the Daily Face-Off YouTube. And yeah, tomorrow, I'll go ahead and say tomorrow's a can't-miss show, I should say, for the Sheet, because 24 hours until the deadline, Marek and his usual crew will be buzzing over there.
How's your interweb?
It's spotty-ish.
Okay. I want to propose something to you. And I need you to hear me out. Everyone walk with me for a second. Hold hands on the chat. We're going to walk down an avenue here.
Okay.
Many, many moons ago, about 2, the Bob father returned out of nowhere towards the end of the trade deadline.
Bob McKenzie.
Yeah. Tweeted out, hurdle to the Golden Knights. And we were all like,
holy
what
shit.
The heck is going on there? No one had heard anything from Thomas Hurdle since actually he had that goal against Henrik Lundqvist in his rookie season. That was the last time Thomas Hurdle's name was mentioned until he got traded. So I ask you this. What if the Bob father comes out of the weeds at his cottage, wherever that is, after drinking one of his margaritas, and just tweets, Stamkos to the Oilers, retention pending.
You think that's how he'd tweet it?
So probably something like that. Some retention, probably. I bet that's what he would say. And that is because Stamkos has had this thing where there's a mutual understanding of like, if they start trading everybody off and he does not want to be part of a rebuild, he said he's out. He's an $8 million contract. So I understand how difficult this could be. And I don't know what the trade could
Darnell
be.
Nurse is going to Nashville.
That'd be nice. But what if it's like the Oilers are able to get someone on that level? Like, there has been a little bit of talk. I know Jeff said some stuff. Other people have said it too. Have just been like, I think the Oilers are going to do something bigger here.
Yeah.
And I won't lie to you guys. Jeff has told us some stuff that has come true.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was on this show telling us about Jari a month before it happened.
Yeah.
So.
And I wonder, Stamkos without the power play, no thanks. What I would say to that is, sorry, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, you're not on the power play anymore. We have one of the greatest goal scorers of his generation, if not the greatest of his generation in particular. And again, I don't think this will actually happen, but I wonder if the others really do go big fish hunting, if this is the name.
I disagree with you.
Ah, damn it.
I just think a big part of what makes Steven Stamkos effective and good is his power play, and you don't need it. Like, if I'm going to, because if we're talking retention on Steven Stamkos, we're talking primo assets. We're talking multiple A-plus pieces going the other way. And he is also 36. That's another, I think, point in my argument of, like, if you're going to go spend big assets, all this stuff, and pay for Nashville to keep all this money, I want a guy who's going to impact the game at 5-on-5 more, and Stamkos doesn't do that anymore.
Not at all?
No, not at all, but not at the level that where the juice isn't worth the squeeze for what you're getting at 5-on-5 with him. If I'm giving up all those assets,
let's see how this season.
Like I'm waiting till the summer and I'm gonna do something different.
This season, Stamkos is 30 goals, 9 of them on the power play.
Yeah, I mean 21 5-on-5 goals is like
that would probably be first on the others.
I'll see what he actually has at 5-on-5.
Either way, I think that would be awesome.
He has 12 5-on-5 goals this year.
So where are the rest of them coming?
He probably has a bunch of empty netters.
That's fine.
How many empty netters does he have? Well, I mean, that's not fine. That's a knock on his production. He has 5 empty net goals this year.
Okay, that's the fewest. The others actually have a huge problem scoring on empty nets, to be fair.
Stamkos doesn't do it at 5-on-5, though.
I'm in.
I am out. The Edmonton Oilers are fine scoring against empty net goals. Or scoring empty net goals.
In the previous years, though, it was plaguing them.
Yeah, they're the third best team.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably because they get so few opportunities now. Their percentage is so much higher.
I get you're fighting here.
No,
I like Steve. If Steven
I'm not fighting anything.
No, I'm just saying, like, you're fighting your point.
Oh, I thought you meant like against you. I was like, no, I think Stamkos would be a fit. We literally just said it doesn't matter how the Oilers are winning games. And if you're adding a guy who has 612 goals, 2 Stanley Cups, 50 playoff goals, I'm all in. I don't know what the cost would be. People are saying it's not cake. That's a good one.
It is.
I don't even know what the cost would be. I really don't think it's going to happen anyway. But I'm just curious about it. If, like, he gets to the point where it's like, you just traded Ryan O'Reilly, Michael McCarron, which was a wild deal, Cole Smith, whoever else, a couple other guys go out the door. Like, he just stood there. It's like, oh, so now it's just me and Roman Yossi. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And
so Pierre LeBrun wrote about Stamkos and his interest in being traded in his piece up at The Athletic today. And very predictably, the teams that apparently Stamkos would be willing to waive to are, it was like Dallas, it was Tampa Bay, it was Colorado. Like, it was those teams. I get that he's like a flashy, sexy name. If I'm giving up those kinds of assets, I need someone who's more of a driver at 5-on-5. And he's just not a driver at 5-on-5. Like, a big part, again, of where he impacts the game is on the power play. And that's an area the Oilers don't need help.
Would you rather have him on the left wing or Nuge next to McDavid?
I mean, like, yeah, in a vacuum, Steven Stamkos.
Yeah.
But am I giving up? Like, how many more years are left on this thing?
He has two more after this.
Okay, so
he makes $8 million for those of you who don't know. Again, there's some retention in this, however they make it worse.
So, like, let's try to unpack what a deal for Steven Stamkos would look like then.
Okay, so I did base it directly from the Hurdle one, which was David Enstrom, who was their first-round pick. So first-round pick.
So that's Ike Howard.
Another first-round pick, and that was it. 2 first-round picks, and Vegas got 2/3, and there was retention, which was 1 point.
It was like
I think it was like something, whatever it was.
It was like 10% of his contract.
Oh, there it is.
20%.
1.37 million, which was 17%.
Okay. So let's say, and Hurdle was hurt at the time. Granted,
That's right. Yeah, he did.
Because they missed the playoffs that year after getting him.
No, they made it. They just got knocked out in 7 games. They lost in 7. I got it right here. He played 7 games.
I thought that was the year they missed by 1.
No, he only had 1 goal.
23-24. 23-24. Oh yeah, they did. They lost.
And then he had 32 goals for them.
Yeah. So it's Ike Howard. It's a first.
Yep.
And
So
then
that'd be
it's
26.
probably another first for the retention.
Mangiapane's in this deal somehow.
And a third for them to take Mangiapane. So are you trading Ike Howard 2 firsts and a third and Mangiapane for Steven Stamkos?
Yeah.
I think you can get better value doing other things.
If I was picking between Stamkos and to be honest, McCann, I was going to say.
Yeah.
I just think the value of having a 2-time Stanley Cup captain on your team who has 120 plus games, whatever I said, and however many games regular season, I'd be in on it. Do you get better? The answer is yes.
Yeah, but at what cost? I mean, again,
what would those first-round picks going to do for you right away?
You can use them for other trades.
But you activate another one next season.
Yeah. Okay, but for all those assets, again, it's Howard, it's 2 firsts, it's all the stuff that you might need to put together. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you rather just have Bobby McMahon and Boone Jenner?
Nah. They're not the same. I feel like there's more likelihood that I'm comparing to Bobby McMahon because they would play probably similarly in the lineup. There's more chance that McMahon could bust over Stamkos busting.
But I'm talking about getting 2 players instead of just the one.
Yeah, totally.
And again, the areas Stamkos helps you, I don't think you're getting the full value of what Steven Stamkos can do. And we also, you want to talk about busting, he might not age well. Who knows? The bottom falls out of guys like that all the time when they get to their late 30s. We're not talking mid-30s here. We're talking you're hoping Steven Stamkos keeps up this production year 37 and year 38. That's a lot.
Well, I think considering the lowest amount of goals he's had since he won a cup and played a full season is 27, I think it's fair to assume he could continue his production. Ovechkin's similar.
I mean,
and I would say Stamkos is
a better all-around player.
Yeah, better all-around player.
Yeah.
Can
but
still skate.
Even that year, 27, he scored 15 of those on the power play.
He can go on the power play.
But you don't need him to because your power play's fine. It's the best power play in NHL history without him.
But what if it could be better? What if you get to the playoffs and look at the cup final? The Oilers couldn't hit a barn door on their power play because Draisaitl got hurt.
But Bobby McMahon might help you get to the middle of the ice and open up space more. I just think there's better ways to spend your assets.
Maybe.
If Steven Stamkos was in his final year,
sure, that's a different conversation.
I'd be so all in on this idea because it wouldn't cost you 3 assets.
Yep.
It'd be a first Mangiapane and a third, and I'd be like, let's do it. Bring in Steven Stamkos. Mm-hmm. I don't see him as a perfect fit. And if I'm giving up all those assets, I want a perfect fit. Again, what if you could take those same assets? And this is almost in a way the same conversation we had with the goaltending. What if you could take all those assets this summer and get Jordan Kyrou? What if you could take those assets this summer and get Philip Forsberg? Costs are usually...
I would... Forsberg for sure.
Yeah,
Kyrou,
right?
I like Kyrou, but I'm unsure on him.
But he's younger and he's a 30-goal guy.
Yeah, and that's fair. How many 30-goal seasons does he have?
Kyrou?
Yeah, probably at least 2, I would suspect.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. He's definitely scored at the pace. Maybe injuries. Yeah. These are his last 3 seasons. 36, 31, 37.
Okay.
And the power play goals in those years are 7, 8, and 11. So he's still getting right up around 25 plus away from the power play.
Is he a left shot or a right shot?
I think he's a right shot.
Either way, Hyman can flip.
Yeah. He's a right shot, yeah.
I admittedly am thinking a bit more about this too because I am again a little bit worried about Nugent's production. He's slowed down. I think Nugent's still a great player for the Oilers and will fill a role for this team until the day he chooses not to. Mm-hmm. But I just don't know if he has that first line production anymore. I think he probably does need to come down in the lineup, and that's why I would think he's a good one. And also, too, maybe other people don't. I trust the Oilers amateur scouting to go find more players.
Because they have, look at how good Josh Szymanski's looking.
Even Savoy.
Yeah.
Like, and I guess Ty Emerson's probably more pro. Either way, my point is, like, we talk about Quinn Hudson. People are very high on him, and rightfully so. He's had a great season in Bakersfield, and there's other guys too. Like, I just trust they can find those guys. So we're clearly on different sides of it, and that's fun.
Debate is a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful. Embrace
You've
it.
brought some good points.
Embrace the debate.
I was going to say something really mean there. I was going to say you brought some great points and I brought better ones. But
that is ruthless. I just think, and it seemed a bit mixed in the chat. I think people kind of felt it on both sides.
There was like, is Liam on crack? Why does Tyler hate Stamkos? Stamkos would be unreal. Like,
there you go.
That makes it a good question.
My final point to the what are they called?
The jury?
The jury. Stamkos is 2 Stanley Cups. That will always matter. It especially matters more because he was a leader on those teams. And I'm not saying the Oilers need more leaders. I'm saying it doesn't hurt to have more. You got a captain, a guy who is presumably very likable. He won the Olympics. He won 2014. One of the greatest goal scorers of his generation. I just wouldn't miss the opportunity to get him just because he plays on the power play. But that's fine. I can understand why they would not be interested.
I had more reasons other than that, though.
No, I know. I don't understand this even strength goals thing on the NHL website. So that would mean he's also scoring at like 4-on-4, for example, or maybe overtime.
An empty net goal is an even strength goal.
Really?
Because there's 6 players on the ice for each team. One of them is just a goalie. It's kind of cheap. That's why you go. Like that's why I just go to natural stat trick and do 5-on-5 goals.
Because he's currently 17th in the league, and I was confused because you.
So take away his 5 empty netters. How far down does he fall? Granted, we're not taking away the other guys' empty netters.
So that would be 21 down to 16. He would be top 50. So.
I'll give you.
It's hard to say because fucking everyone else is.
The leader this year in the NHL in 5-on-5 goals is Thompson and McKinnon at 25. Stamkos in 5-on-5 goals is in a tie for 60th. With the likes of Colin Graff and Justin Brazeau.
Colin Graff, he scored a goal against the Oilers the other day.
Draisaitl,
Justin Brazeau.
Draisaitl is 22nd. Draisaitl and McDavid are tied for 21st.
Interesting. Because Draisaitl only has 17 even strength goals this season.
Yeah, Draisaitl and McDavid, 16 goals out, even strength. Next on the Oilers list would be Hyman with 11. So, Zach Hyman tied with Bobby McMahon. Also, Hyman's played way less hockey. Actually, let me put this into rates because that'll factor in ice time in games played.
Yeah, because too, Nashville.
First in the NHL, Kevin Rooney. Probably need to throw a little minimum on this to weed out some of that nonsense.
1,000 minutes.
I did 250 just to get out like the real scrubs, like Quinn Hudson, who's 5th on that board. Where are we going? Oh, it's taking forever to load. Either way. I'm going to tee you up to go on a nice rant because I drank my coffee way too fast. So I really just need like a solid 60 seconds of Liam ISO here.
Okay.
Connor McDavid and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins at 5-on-5. When they've been on the ice together, and this is since the start of last season, okay?
Just McDavid and Nuge.
McDavid and Nuge when they're paired up.
Okay.
Goals for per 60, 3.24. When you take Connor McDavid away from Nuge, that number goes up to 3.57.
Interesting.
When you take Nuge away from McDavid, that number craters to 1.77.
Nuge away from McDavid is like that.
So Nuge, when he's not on the ice with Connor, that goals per 60 number craters to 1.77. Versus when they're together, it's 3.24. With both of them off the ice, it's 2.2. So my argument, before I tee you up for this question, by pulling Nuge away, you get garbage production when he's on his own.
From Nuge,
relative to what the team does when he's off the ice.
Okay.
But at least when you keep him up with Connor, you're getting something. And Connor's boost isn't as big as Nuge's drop-off, and it's not even close. You did mention, though, that you maybe want to see him away. So, Pat, pull up the line combos, put Liam on an ISO. We're revving Liam up and letting him go. You get a call as you're driving home to Sherwood Park, going up the hill.
Way to dox me.
Yeah. And it's Chris Knobloch, and he says, Liam, I listened to the show today. You're so damn smart.
We just acquired Steve Stamkos.
He goes, Liam, you get to pick the lines for next game.
Okay.
Tell me what you do.
All right. First line. So I did a bit of research on this one too. And the reason I am writing an article on it, the first line, I want it slightly broken up because they've just not been that good in their last 10 games. They are being outscored 8-6 and outshot 55-47. Their scoring chances are even at 59 apiece. So what I would do, I'm not going too crazy, but I am moving Nugent Hopkins down and I am flipping Savoy up. I think Savoy, as I kind of stated before Jeff came on the show, has just been playing so well that I would like to see if he can continue that trend with McDavid. I also think Nuge and Savoy are somewhat similar. Obviously, both former first overall picks in the Western Hockey League, too. But just a smart player. I think he can play with anyone. Again, he's hot. So then now my first line would be Savoy, McDavid, Hyman. My second line would then be Nuge, Draisaitl, Roslovic. I think Roslovic, again, has come back from this break and been playing really well. If you remember way far back, there was the Dry, Kai, and Rye line when Yamamoto was on that wing when he came up as a rookie right before COVID as a point-per-game player. And then Dave Tippett decided, no, we do not want production. We're not putting that line together against the Winnipeg Jets, I think it was. No, it would have been Chicago. Either way, Dave lost his job. So then second line, again, is Nuge, Draisaitl, Roslovic. Third line, Podkolzin, Szymanski, Frederick is whatever. We'll see what happens with Lazar here, I suppose. But that fourth line, I would keep the same as well, although I would like to see an upgrade on Szymanski. Not that I think he's playing bad. He's just played 4 games in the NHL.
And you maybe don't want to trust him in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, it might be a bad idea.
I guess Stamkos. Yeah.
I play if Szymanski, just everything aside, like cap all that shit, Szymanski would be on my 12 for a playoff game, but opening night of the playoffs. I would play him as my fourth line center. I think he's someone I would try and push on the penalty kill a little bit here and see what happens. If that's Lazar of the lineup, Henrique on the wing, whatever you want to do. Oh, Lazar out 4 weeks. Gregor announced, sorry. Not Draga. Don't believe anything.
Up to 4 weeks.
How long is left in the regular season? 6, I think.
Yeah.
Damn, I wonder if he's... Oh, my leg. I just can't go for 2 more weeks.
Well, we talked about this before.
It would be based off if a trade was to happen.
The problem is he's the wrong guy to
Makes no money.
To get hurt.
Yeah.
So Gregor points this out in his tweet too. If they're going to put him on LTIR, which they're going to have to here just to recall someone, like you have to remember right now the Oilers are at 12 forwards. Mm-hmm. So when Lazar gets hurt, they're at 12 forwards with $200,000 in cap space. So Lazar gets hurt at $775,000. You need to call someone up to take his spot. That not only eats up Lazar's league minimum cap space, but if you wanted to call up Quinn Hudson, that eats up $100,000 of your available space.
Yeah.
If you want to call up Marhala, I mean, he has only $102,000 in bonuses, but still, that's going to eat up all of your cap space. You're going to be back to like $25,000. Jarventi, I guess, wouldn't quite have that same effect. Jarventi would be league minimum. I don't know why I keep saying Marhala when I mean Jarventi, by the way, and I don't know why I keep doing that. Jarventi is a guy that they would probably consider. He'd be league minimum. You could also call up James Hamblin, who's league minimum. But Lazar going on LTIR doesn't actually create any cap space for you because you have to fill that roster spot.
If they wanted to bring up a bigger body too, this Samuel Poulin is a left shot.
Okay.
So, I mean, I know Lazar's not, but he was playing on the left wing yesterday. We'll see what happens. I mean, they're going to have to call it one of those 3 guys. Mm-hmm. It has to be. I think Jarventi has also played well enough that you probably do want to see him up the lineup. People are asking about Clattenburg. He is still injured.
Yeah.
And not active
I don't think he's going to play again this year.
No. And also, too, again, the same boat where he just makes a little bit too much money. Mm-hmm. It's less than actually 50,000, but either way, it puts him over. I would love Kleinberg back on this team, though. I do kind of agree with all of that.
I liked him
a lot, too.
I mean, I think next fall we're having a really interesting conversation about
a lot of these
Connor
guys.
Kleinberg. Oh, yeah.
A lot of them. Next year's team is going to be very intriguing. I'm very curious to see. Like, Dave Pagnotta's obviously been in the show a ton, talking about, like, this summer could be big.
Yep. And someone asked us, what kind of money do they have next summer? So the way it sits right now is they have $14.3 million in cap space. Okay. That is with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 forwards on the roster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 D-men signed. Yeah, 5 D-men signed. And then 1 goalie. So if you want to do a little bit of reverse math on all of this, 14.3, let's just call Connor Ingram 2.3 million. Okay?
Sure.
So you're both goalies are signed. You have $12 million. You have Bouch, Nurse, Ekholm, Walman, Emberson all signed. What do you think Stastny costs you?
Oh, nothing. Million.
Yeah, probably $1 million.
He literally got his first assist yesterday.
Let's call him 1.25. Just for the sake of it, because then you bring up Regula. That's another $2 million that you've stashed away. Okay, so now you're sitting with $10 million in cap space, and I said you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 forwards. 9 forwards, you need to sign. One of them is going to be league minimum. We'll call your 13th forward league minimum. So you have $9 million to sign 3 forwards. If you did if you think Jarventi or Clattenburg can take up a spot, like an actual everyday in the lineup spot, one of them. Now you're talking about $8 million for 2 more players.
And then when you trade Nurse.
Well, again, this is if the cap situation stays the same. We're talking $8 million for 2 players. And then I think where the debate will come for the Oilers is, do you want to take that $8 million and go Bobby McMahon, Jack Roslovic? Or do you want to take that $8 million and go Jordan Kyrou, Philip Forsberg? And I know the numbers are all kind of different in all of that, but that's kind of the debate we're going to be having this summer, I think, in Edmonton is, let's assume they can't offload Darnell Nurse. Let's assume that Janmark's still kicking around and all that. Do you want to do something that is like a big name, little name? Maybe it's even something like, do you want Kyrou and Kapanen, or do you want Roslovic and McMahon? Those are kind of the conversations we're going to be having when it comes to.
Yeah. I'm going to be very curious this summer about one other thing, too. No matter what, how many guys do they keep in the sense of, let's just say Roslovic and Murphy. Mm-hmm. They both play well in the playoffs. So, we want to keep both these guys because we're tired of losing the guys that we know. And we see it every summer. The grass isn't greener. It just simply is not in Edmonton. It's covered in snow. Even artificial, it's not flourishing. I think they'll keep Roslovic. I don't know what you would think, but I just think you look at it, it's so clear he plays well with Leon Draisaitl. Mm-hmm. They need him bad.
Yeah,
and I wonder about that. Do they trust Nuge a bit further? I know you stated those numbers, but fresh season, you kind of need a restart. They have to find a shooter for McDavid outside Hyman.
Yep,
it's gonna be a fun summer. I think we're gonna be busy.
Yeah, I think so too. Just looking at because Mulek said you're forgetting about Mangiapane. So I think I might have been off 2.45. I also don't know. I'm not quite sure how Puckpedia in that cap projection, how they count some of the buried contracts and all of that. So you're right. They actually might have a little bit more cap space than all that. I'm just looking here. Oh, that's the wrong offseason. I'll figure it out later. Maybe when DJ's on, I'll have some time to iron out a couple of these weird little wrinkles. But the point is, they're going to have money.
Yeah. And the other thing with Lazar is we just went all through that. Mm-hmm. If, again, he is, for whatever reason, out for the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. And, they'll have to call up someone now and Jarventi maybe just for a game. Or maybe they just don't do anything until after the deadline. Maybe we can just use his money and call up an extra guy. And that's what they try and do instead to keep on LTIR. You can call him back for the playoffs. I do think there's going to be a trade. I don't know what it's going to be. Connor Murphy kind of came out of nowhere too, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we didn't think that day We were about to wrap up the show. Then all of a sudden, I was like, oh, shit, they got Connor Murphy. Speaking of Connor Murphy, he skated today in Edmonton on a pairing with Jake Walman. So sounds like the Oilers are going to do Bouch, Ekholm, Walman, and Murphy, Nurse with Emberson, which I think is probably the right call.
And then Knobloch said, too, he plans to try Murphy with different players, see what works, isn't locked into any of these pairings, but probably going to start with that.
Yeah.
Which probably a good idea.
Yeah, and again, the fact that he was skating today probably just tells you that it was a benching for our boy Jake Walman, who again, it's a deserved benching. You can sit there and we can all sit and bitch about the fact that other guys don't get held accountable. But again, Jake Walman, I have no problem saying he was bordering on unplayable.
I agreed.
Yeah,
agreed. People who are just coming in, I saw people float in the chat. Lazar's out for at least a month.
Yeah.
Just, we know, you know, we're all good.
Also, some people I think are behind in the show because we're still getting like a little Stamkos bust comment. Sure.
Are you in, Jake, or out?
I don't know.
Is he busting or bust?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, it could be either one.
Could go either way. Some news today from the NHL.
Yep.
Kiefer Sherwood is going to make $30 million.
I'm going to say this. Not good. For multiple reasons.
Okay.
Because Kiefer Sherwood, he's a good player in the sense of like, he's found his role, he's carved out, it's all that. He's clearly a bottom six forward.
Yeah.
And that worries me when it comes to Bobby McMahon, Jack Roslovic. Because now they're going to look at this and be like, well, I'm better than Kiefer Sherwood. Yeah. And the others might have to pay up for Roslovic now. That pisses me off.
Yep. That's fair. Like Kiefer Sherwood, it is okay. Like, let's take the nerd side of it away from the conversation of like, is he good? What does he do? The fact that this guy who was in the American League like 2 years ago is now all of a sudden going to make $30 million in his career is like a crazy cool story.
Oh yeah, it's really good for him. He's played 314 games in the league, and all of them have come in basically the last 3 years. The bulk of them.
This is also the time of year where teams fall in love with weird things, man. And I guess we got duped by Trent Frederick a year ago, so I'm not saying that we're any different or any smarter, but like there's a rumor flying around yesterday that the Bruins are after Garland, so are the Islanders apparently.
Right.
But for the Bruins, it was like, oh, Mason Lowry could be in the move for Garland. And I'm sitting here like, Connor Garland will get you 10 to 15 even strength goals a season.
Good player.
Yeah. Teams love his intangibles, though, right? Works hard. He's a prick. All this stuff. He is 29 years old and has a $6 million extension kicking in next year.
I feel
what
like,
the fuck are you doing giving up premium assets for this guy?
I feel like we've seen this movie before.
You're bailing out Vancouver.
And his name was David Clarkson. And then, like, didn't Antoine Roussel get a huge ticket? It was like $4 million or something.
The list is
like
long
that.
Of guys
but
who.
Didn't the cap go up that year? And all of a sudden, I was like, oh my God, I got a Connor Garland. He's so tough.
Yeah.
And he's a good player. I like Connor Garland.
Yep.
I don't like that he's going to make $6 million next season. No. And yeah, there's just so many layers to all of this. And again, like, credit to Kiefer Sherwood for the fact he got that money is good for him. And I understand too why San Jose did it. They have a ton of money and they need to get up the board a little bit in their cap situation. But my goodness, it blows my mind. It really does.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, even there was the trade as well today. Vancouver trading Tyler Myers to Dallas.
50% retained, second and a fourth, going back the other way.
And then Michael McCarron for a second-round pick.
A second-round pick. And again, it's picks in 2028. And I feel like GMs now are just like, yeah, when's the pick? 3 years from now? Don't give a shit. Trade it. Which I can understand being and acting that way if you're Bill Guerin and you made the big move for Quinn Hughes and you're like, you know what? This guy improves our roster in some way right now. We're just doing it. But like a second-round pick for a guy who has like 5 goals this year is crazy. He's a big body, though, and he wins face-offs and all this stuff. And it's like, I don't know if you give up a second-round pick for a guy like that. Makes the Connor Murphy deal look pretty good.
It's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
A second-round pick. It's the same deal.
Yeah. All right, let's get to our second guest of the day. DJ Bean, 1/3 of What Chaos. He's brought to you by Truck Month, Liam. This segment is a presentation of GMC. It's Truck Month, and that means it's your opportunity to get into a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Pro Graphite Crew Cab at 0% financing for 72 months. You're getting a 2-inch factory lift with off-road suspension, a powerful 5.3-liter V8 engine, and commanding presence that demands attention. Hurry in. Go see the Sierra 1500 Pro Graphite Crew Cab in person and take advantage of Truck Month before it ends. DJ Bean joins us on the show. We are I think we're something like 48 hours away from the deadline hitting, which means we're 24 hours away from the start of your guys' 24-hour stream.
Yeah, Pete just ran off out of frame. He was behind me trying to set up the easel. We do first looks, the authentic kind. We don't go on Photoshop like cowards. We paint them like men. When a player gets traded to a new team, we put in the blood, sweat, and tears. Bust out the acrylic paints.
The only AI on your show is in paint.
Yes.
That's right. That is exactly it.
Paint. That's very good, Liam. The 24-hour stream is...
Sean's laughing off camera. It took him a second. It was awesome. He said, "God damn it, Liam."
He's probably saying that to Darren Dreger too right now.
Yeah, how rattled is Sean that the Bob Thomas deal fell through?
I wish. Yeah, you should have done all three of us on the show today. As Sean is laughing and explaining it to Pete, Liam said he probably also said "God damn it" to Darren Dreger this morning. Sean wants Robert Thomas,
of course,
and he wants to pay for him, but. Sean, you think Owen Power is a bridge too far?
Owen Power is a bridge too far. They're trying to make their defense better, and they're going to subtract their third, maybe second best defenseman. Doesn't make sense to me.
Can I propose a trade to you, Sean, if you don't mind?
Always.
I'm so confident I'm going to hate it, but go crazy.
Okay. I think I'm just comparing this to the Mikko Rantanen trade, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I was 2 first-round picks in Logan Stankoven. So what if you just did the same and just made it Jack Quinn?
Yeah, I'm doing that. I said that on the show. Jack Quinn's having a good season, as good of a season as one John Jason Peterka, who the Buffalo Sabres traded earlier this year, if you remember. But, yeah, I mean, I absolutely think Jack Quinn. That's probably the highest you're going to be able to sell on Jack Quinn. I don't think this team has any need for high draft picks at this point. So in a heartbeat, I'd make that trade.
Nice.
Buffalo Sabres, according to Money Puck, have a 92% chance of making the playoffs this year. They're coming for the division. They're coming for the division. They're the best team in the Eastern Conference. Start talking about it. Carter Hutton did have him as an outside Stanley Cup contender today on DFO Live. But anyways, DJ, I want to know what other stuff you guys got planned for the 24-hour stream. Like, how much of it is fully prepped? How much of it is just freewheeling?
A lot of it is prepped. We have some guests, some guests maybe some guests that have never been on the show before, friends of the show. It's going to be amazing. So that's what's always known. It's the unknown, though, that is what ends up getting people to either come back or leave our show for good. And that's why we do it. Last year, we had the Rower Hour, which was an hour in which we would spin a wheel. We all dressed up like dinosaurs. This is so up Liam's alley. We all dressed up like dinosaurs and then would spin a wheel to determine who was allowed to speak and who could only communicate by roaring. And we picked an hour that it wasn't like 3 a.m. We picked an hour where like ostensibly something could have happened and people would it was like, Sean's making a face. It was probably like 5 or 6. It was not 3. We rolled the dice with like, hey, maybe a trade goes down and Pete's reaction is going to have to be communicated only in roaring. And exactly. Pete said we maximized on the chances of people tuning in confused. Like if we did 3 a.m., no one's jumping in then. Then you're getting the leftovers from people who were there at midnight. So there's a lot of strategy. It's the 3rd time around we've done it. We've learned some things over the years. We've definitely upped our painting situation. You're going to be into that. We've mic'd the room better so we can do some of the activities that we have planned and move freely about it. There's games, there's madness. It's going to be the best. I cannot wait. I'm tired thinking about it, but really, everybody check it out.
It is awesome.
I can't wait.
There is.
Liam was on last year.
Yeah, I was on last year. It was. I think I came on at like 11:30 Mountain or something like that. Maybe a little bit earlier, but it was a late one. I was sleepy. What did you make of the Connor Murphy trade the other day?
Good. Fine, I would say.
Yeah.
I did not want Stan Bowman to do anything of major consequence at this deadline. I didn't want him to make any sort of big moves because I didn't want to. I didn't want him to spend more than he already has this season. I was always team Tyler in terms of wait till the offseason to make your big goalie move. Blew that. That didn't happen. So now it's tougher to do something in the offseason. But I think that you want to leave yourself, even though the cap situation's now screwed up because of the Jari thing. Every answer I'm going to give is just going to go back to how the Jari trade was the dumbest thing in the world, and only smart people knew it at the time. Okay, I didn't want to spend like crazy or ruin future plans by doing something right now because A, I don't really trust Stan Bowman to do it correctly, and B, I wonder if this is the year that they don't make a run to the Stanley Cup final for reasons that include fatigue and the roster just not being there right now. So I want to invest to an extent. Connor Murphy, perfect type of acquisition. Someone who's not going to cost you a first-round pick, someone who's not going to mess up your salary cap going forward, someone who is badly needed. We talk about rumpus time on our show a lot. The Oilers defense loves them some rumpus time, and somehow this season it's not Evan Bouchard who's doing it. It's everybody else. They need someone boring, and they got someone boring, which is a good thing. And now the problem is they get him, and I'm like, okay, well now if you make a big move, you could really make a run here, but I'm still trying to talk myself out of do not make the big move.
What would you like to see then? I won't phrase it as like dream acquisition or whatever, but like what's the kind of move that would have you on Friday being like, you know what? I'm more confident in this Oilers team than I was a week ago.
I mean, I still want like a Boone Jenner, but I don't know if that's going to be an exorbitant price to pay. I think the Michael McCarron move throws off a little people a lot in terms of what was paid to get him. But even the more distance I've gotten from that, I'm like, yeah, it kind of makes sense. Whatever. It's a 2028 second round pick. I'm sorry. The Wild have been dripping with assets. So if Boone Jenner is going to cost you a second round pick or something, yeah, like whatever, do that. I mean, God, respectfully, you spent a second round pick on Trent Frederick last year. It could go worse. Okay. And then like dream acquisition is I'm still trying to find a way to get Jeremy Swayman on the Oilers, but I know it's not going to happen, and I know they're not going to do anything in that. But that is really, if they wanted to make a run and they wanted to make a huge move, that's what it would be. But how many bites of the apple can you get when you've already committed or invested so much in a bad goalie trade? What left do you have?
Well, yeah, like Jeff brought that up when he was on our show earlier. And it's like, I don't know, man. Like, if you want to dip your toes back into the goalie market, I think you're now paying someone to take Tristan Jarry off your hands, which is just fucking insane that we're at this point.
Which I would do. I believe a few weeks ago or somewhere I said I would pay a first round pick to do a trade back with the Penguins.
We literally joked about this yesterday at the office. Yeah.
Not even Kulak. I know he's gone. Okay. Yeah. I don't really want Samuel Girard, to be honest. So let's just trade back, give us Stu, we'll give you Jari, and because I'm still trying to do something in net in the offseason, and that's going to be so hard to do when you have Tristan Jari.
Did you catch the game last night? The Oilers game?
Oh, I caught it.
Do you think they need? Would you define that game the more it went on as like the Oilers had to win that? That was a must-win game for them. It just felt they were slumping so much. I think that would have been their fourth loss at home in a row. Like it seemed like it needed to be done. But
I think it saved the season.
But they also weren't happy that they won. Hyman said.
I can be in on saved the season talk. I did not feel that they needed to win that game, but I was in a place of like, oh my God, they're really going to lose by multiple goals to the Senators at home. I'll tell you this. It shows where things are with the Oilers right now, that they were down 2 goals at home in the third period, and I did not assume they were going to win the game, which is usually how I feel when I watch them, because I'm like, they'll just wake up and decide to do something. Instead, I'm watching them, and I'm like, Is Matt Savoy their second best player? What is this team right now? Just like feeling really, really lost watching it. But they come back and Bouchard in overtime. I'm loving watching the hockey world try to reckon with and grapple with the fact that Evan Bouchard right now is just kind of a perfect player. Very interesting to watch. But I didn't think that they were like in a spot where if they lose this game, that they're toast or anything like that.
If you were allowed to vote on the NHL panel for awards, I could have framed that way differently.
Yep.
Would Bouchard be on your ballot? And where would he be?
I was a Norris voter for a number of years, and I would always take pride in being the guy that when the awards came out, the ballots came out, people were like, Erik Karlsson won the Norris. Congratulations to him. Yet somebody didn't have him on his ballot at all. And I would just be like, stay off Twitter for a couple of weeks, make sure. And now I proudly say, like, I gave him Hart votes, but I did not give him Norris votes because I was like, this is, they need to name it a new position, what he plays. This guy is unbelievable, but I can't in good conscience give this guy Norris votes. Evan Bouchard is actually playing good defense for stretches. Yeah. And Evan Bouchard is not the best penalty killer in the world, but he's been an important penalty killer for the Oilers. We talked about it today. Pete loves Evan Bouchard, but he doesn't think it's fun that Evan Bouchard is just very good now. He still wants there to be some of the threat that comes with watching Evan Bouchard. So I appreciate that. I think that Evan Bouchard right now would not get my top Norris vote, but I would begin thinking about him after putting Zach Werenski 1. So maybe he's second, maybe he's third, maybe he's fourth. I'm having a tough time with Quinn Hughes this year. I think that Ryan Whitney is right that categorically Evan Bouchard has been better than Cale Makar this season. So I'd probably have him ahead of Cale Makar, but he's definitely getting a vote. He's definitely getting one of my top 5 votes. And the question's going to be, will the PHWA members feel the same way? Because it's going to take a lot of recalibrating brain-wise to say, I'm giving Evan Bouchard a Norris vote. Like, yes, you give him to the best defenseman, and he's been one of them.
You said this to me, maybe it was last season, but there's never, because I think I was pushing that Draisaitl should win the Selke or something like that last year. It was something along those lines. And you said it's never going to change because there's no media narrative around anyone winning it other than Barkov, or whoever it was, Bergeron over the years. Well, like now there's such a strong conversation with Bouchard. I feel like a lot of these guys who are voting are going to be like, oh, how can I not have him on the ballot anymore?
They don't want to be the guy who doesn't put him on the ballot.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah. I mean, I would say we'd have to talk to Jay Fresh and the likes, like some of the people who really can blend the eye test with the advanced numbers. I just know the raw numbers are good, and I know the eye test is good. But if you don't watch Edmonton Oilers all the time, you'll say, oh, Evan Bouchard leads defenseman in points. He's top 10-ish in the league in points. Whatever. That's just Evan Bouchard. Sounds like Evan Bouchard is having a good Evan Bouchard season, and I bet he's screwing up all the time. And maybe it's because other defensemen on the Oilers are screwing up louder than him, but I'm not noticing him screwing up to the degree that we normally see him screw up. And the reason we all love Evan Bouchard is because when he screws up, it is fireworks. He doesn't bring a squirt gun to the screw-up party. He brings a bazooka, and he screws around to the high heavens. Right now, he's just doing cool stuff offensively and playing pretty good defense. Sorry to bore you, everybody, but Evan Bouchard is simply awesome right now. Am I going to think that that's what Evan Bouchard is? Not that stupid. Not that stupid. He has screw-ups to come, but we always say, got a show to do today. Today, Evan Bouchard is one of the 3 best defensemen in the NHL.
You saying that Evan Bouchard line reminded me of that Pete tweet that he retweeted yesterday, where it's every Oilers game is like watching someone start a bar fight by immediately giving the other person a gun and then kicking their ass in self-defense. And it's one of my favorite tweets of all time because that's when the Oilers are at their best.
I think that is my favorite Pete Blackburn tweet ever. Other than, that's probably it, because it's such a perfect way of describing the Oilers. And people try to describe the Oilers in fun ways. Nothing better than they start a bar fight by giving you a gun and then kicking your ass in self-defense. I don't know how the words came to him, but it's poetic, and it is what they are. And they also are, by the way, I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago when the Oilers started to turn things around under Chris Knoblauch. PK Subban was on ESPN, and they were like, what do you think of the Oilers winning streak? And he was like, here's the thing with the Oilers. You can't just win every game 6-5. You're going to have to start playing defense. And we were like, PK Subban's not watching the Oilers. He's talking about the way the Oilers usually are. But that's not what they are now. They're a good defensive team. Their penalty kill is the balls. Last night, the Oilers winning 5-4 in a game in which Leon Draisaitl had to produce 5 points. I'm like, oh, God, are we back there yet? Are we back there now? I think we might be, where the Oilers are the team that you're like, well, they just have to win every game 6-5 or 5-4. Not crazy about it.
I think we're all the way back. Like,
yeah. That's
Bouchard played 27. Bouchard played 27 minutes yesterday.
That's insane.
I think the difference beats like McDavid was the top guy. He played like 20, close to 27, 28 minutes, and the lowest guy on the team, which I think was Szymanski, aside from Lazar left the game, played like 9. There's no balance. There's just it is like the Titanic in the sense of like everyone is like they're being held up. Like right at the top is just ready to break, and it's just McDavid and Draisaitl and Hyman and Bouchard holding on, but the iceberg's already hit them and they're already fucked.
But just
what
when
do
you think they're
fucked,
do? Pardon?
What do you kids want them to do?
I I want Stamkos.
Yeah, I think you're crazy.
I think we're out on that. I think they really need, like, Ryan O'Reilly would be my guy. Like, if I had to pick one player that would actually fit, just because he can go third line center, still get some points. He's just so defensively responsible. And I hope that his play could just be infectious on the rest of the team and, like, help guys out. Like, I don't really think the Oilers have ever had a shutdown third line center. Like,
well, they've tried to get him.
Yeah, like Henry came in, I think he was fine. But, like, the rest of them is just like, and I don't mean this in like your disrespectful way to McDavid, but like no one's ever really told him how to be a defensive center. He's just had to figure it out on his own. Yeah. And he's obviously good enough to do that and Draisaitl in the same boat. But imagine if Ryan O'Reilly was just slide right behind him. That'd be great.
Can I be a little crazy to you folks?
Mm-hmm. Please.
First round pick in 2027 for Ryan O'Reilly, half retained, and they take Mangiapane. Are you doing that?
Yeah,
oh my God.
In a heartbeat.
I don't, but the thing is, I don't even think
sounds like I'm not giving up enough then.
Yeah, I don't think it's enough. I think you're probably throwing in, if you're getting him at 50% retained with the term, it's probably a first and Ike Howard.
Oh,
I
don't want to give up Ike Howard. I don't even know I'm being that annoying fan. I don't even know if I want to give up Quinn Hudson right now.
Oh, I give up Quinn Hudson.
I would give up Quinn Hudson real fast.
So something happened here, DJ, where Quinn Hudson played the amount of games he would have played in a college hockey season and then kind of started slumping.
His production's hit the ground since
he scored yesterday and he's done a couple other decent things, but he's just like, he seems to have like just
scored
getting
the biggest
used
goal
to
of
the
the night
program.
last night.
What was it?
Scored the biggest goal in hockey last night. It was the one everyone was talking about.
The 6-7 goal, yes.
I couldn't watch it. I just saw the title said 6-7. I'm like, I'm moving on.
I have that muted.
For that reason, I'm out.
Yeah. Okay, well then I got one more question for you, and it ties into what you just said, 6-7. You guys are talking on your show about mogging and maxing. I don't know those words.
Well, it's really been a Sean thing. Sean has been imploring. Sean's younger than us, so he's been telling us, you got to talk more about mogging. You got to talk more about
Now what happened? I roll my eyes every single time it gets brought up. But I do know what it is, and I've explained it.
Sean is frustration maxing right now. He's showing how frustrated he is. Sean is a feelings dominant person, and he feels bad about us saying mogging and maxing. I still don't know what mogging is, and whenever I ask, Sean says, this is a sign that you shouldn't say it if you don't know what it means. Stop saying it. Stop talking about it.
Mogging is essentially one-upping somebody, and if you like blank mog, you're one-upping someone in that was so like frame mogging, which is the original usage of it, is like you make someone look bad because your frame is better than theirs. You stand next to them. So that's mogging. Maxing is just doing everything in your effort or in your abilities to do that thing. So looks maxing is the popular term, and that's going extra lengths to make yourself look as good as possible.
Maura Higgins.
Not even further. Like
what?
Like with dudes, it's like breaking your jaw so it can grow. It can heal sharper. Stuff like it's crazy stuff. It comes from incel culture. If you get too deep into it, you're gonna get depressed.
Yeah. Okay. Let's play enough of this. I don't know what's going on anymore. I understood like a third of that. That's okay.
As you should. You shouldn't understand it because it's ridiculous.
He's confusion maxing. No, we've all been there before.
Confusion, man. Pete, DJ, Sean, you guys are the best. We can't wait for the 24-hour stream, and we'll chat with you again soon.
Yes. Big moves coming for all we know.
For all we assume, according to Darren Dreger. See ya, DJ. DJ being 1/3 of What Chaos. Find them on the What Chaos YouTube or wherever you get your podcast from. Liam, I gave the people some bad info earlier, and I want to correct said information.
Have you been doing your cap stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Pat, do you have the email I sent you?
I can certainly look for it.
Thank you.
Yep.
We can't really do much until we have it, to be totally fair.
I can have something to say. There was someone in the chat who said, weird that we're hating on Quinn Hudson. Must be that same guy.
We're not.
Casey in 780, sorry. Said 47 games in 50 games as a first-year pro is being hated on. I replied, I'm not hating. He's having a great season. Said, but weird comment regarding the slump. He's in a slump. He just ended a 12-game streak of not scoring a goal.
Yeah, you guys can slump.
He's been playing. He's had a great season.
Guys be slumping.
He is. It's not a coincidence that it's that. He's a first-year pro, like you said in your comment.
Yeah.
He's adjusting to the pro game. But I would trade in an absolute heartbeat if it meant the Oilers got Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah.
And I would be, honestly, like I would be in the same boat. Every player in Bakersfield, I would trade for Ryan O'Reilly. I really would.
Earlier today, you were spicy. You're about as spicy as my water bottle right now.
That brown one.
Like, if Nashville called you and said, we'll give you Ryan O'Reilly, we'll take Mangiapane, just give us a player from Bakersfield.
Yeah.
Or my response would be, take anybody you want from Bakersfield.
Yeah, I would too.
Yes. He's that good. And
he could change your team. And I know there's a conversation around, well, the team all has to play together, and I agree. Mm-hmm. They do. And Connor Murphy's not going to come in and change everything, and neither is Ryan O'Reilly. But it would definitely help things, and it can maybe reduce a little bit of time. Ryan O'Reilly's a game-changing trade.
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes him a cup contender, but he also has another year on his contract.
Yeah. So let's say the Ryan O'Reilly deal, let's say it's Mangiapane, Quinn Hudson, and a first for Ryan O'Reilly. Okay?
Okay.
Done deal. My next phone call is to go get Bobby McMahon. And I say, you want my other first-round pick? It's all yours, Toronto. Because if I'm doing the O'Reilly thing and he's coming with term, I'm just saying, fuck it. And I'm giving myself the best opportunity to beat Colorado or Dallas in the conference finals this year.
I would completely agree.
And that's where, there's this delicate kind of, balance thing for the Oilers where, if the best, and the McCarron price has really messed me up. Because if he's going for a second, good Lord, what's everybody else going to go for?
I think I do agree. I just think sometimes these trades, other GMs will look at them and be like, there's no way. Yeah. I feel like the Oilers wanted Michael McCarron. There's been rumored about him for honestly years. But
thank God they didn't.
And I bet it was because they looked at him and was like, why? Second round pick? And he's probably a little bit better, but how big is the gap between McCarron and Curtis Lazar? Probably not that big. I think McCarron's probably better.
Yes, but it's not.
I'm not paying a second round pick to just improve on Lazar.
Yeah, correct. Curtis Lazar, again, McCarron has, what's his number this year?
He has 12 points.
12 points. He has 5 goals, though, in 59 games.
Yeah.
Curtis Lazar has 3 goals in 38 games.
Exactly. O'Reilly did get hurt yesterday on his eye thing. It seems like they made a statement and said he'd be okay. We will get an update on that, I'm sure, soon. And also, someone says, why do we want to keep getting these old guys? Ryan O'Reilly, 35. 59 points this season. 60 games. He's a point-per-game player.
It's crazy.
These guys might be old, but who cares? They are playing well enough.
Corey Perry was doing good things at 40.
He was 40. He scored some huge goals. He had 10 playoff goals last season. There's certain players who you just don't turn down.
I want to read you a headline from Sportsnet.
Okay. Who's wrote it?
Luke Fox.
Okay.
Nicholas Waugh knows his name has been floated out in trade speculation connecting him to the Edmonton Oilers, but he's trying not to dwell on it.
That's a long title.
But also, like, he's trying not to dwell on it. He might get traded to a cup contender. He's not going to jail. Like, why? They phrase it like they're shooting him to the moon.
I can't think about it. I can't think about playing competitive hockey this April. Ugh. Keep me in Toronto.
Where why? I feel like this is... I think this is Toronto. Like, whenever there's insider reports out there, you always kind of wonder, like, who benefits from this information being out there? Nicholas Waugh can't skate, can't score, wins faceoffs, sure, but he can't skate, can't score, makes $3 million for next season. Mm-hmm. He's got worse offensive numbers than Andrew Mangiapane, and he has another year at $3 million. The only way I want Nicholas Waugh is if it's Mangiapane for Nicholas Waugh. Other than that, I don't want Nicholas Waugh because he's not that good. And I feel like, to back to my point of who benefits from this information being out there, this screams Toronto front office is leaking it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. It really does. It really does.
Because that's the only reason Edmonton, if they give up anything for this guy, it's a mistake. Mm-hmm. Okay.
That wasn't really yeah, you have your thing.
Yeah, Pat, did you get you got it, Cap? So I went, and here's your lineup for next season, okay? Nuge, McDavid, Hyman, Savoy, Draisaitl. I have an open spot in the top 6. Szymanski, Frederick, Podkolzin, Howard, Hudson, Clattenburg. Janmark is your extra skater. Ooh. That is 12 forwards.
Okay.
The blue line is, as I explained earlier, Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Walman, Regula, Stasny, Emberson. Boom. Connor Ingram signed for $2 million. Boom. He's with Tristan Jarry. This lineup that I just showed you right here, where everyone is signed except for one forward. I dumped Mangiapane fully in this scenario.
Phew.
So he's totally off the books. This lineup has $10 million in cap space.
Nice.
If you could get out of Janmark and replace him with Curtis Lazar again, you're sitting at $10.7 million to fill one spot on your roster.
Right.
You could swap Janmark for a $4 million Roslovic and still have $6.75 million in cap space with a full lineup. Like, you have wiggle room this summer, and I'm so intrigued to see what they could do with it. And that's why, again, going crazy for a guy right now who's not a perfect fit, I think could be a mistake.
Sure. Can you go back to the forward group, please, Pat? Roslovic would look good. Because there's even other layers to this, too, if you really wanted to dig deeper into it. Like, let's just say, for example, they just open night, they just have 12 forwards anyway. Yeah. They always seem to go minimum, don't they? And, like, it's Szymanski's out and Szymanski's down, Hudson's still in Bakersfield, whatever. Like, there's actually a lot of variety you could go with. And I like the idea of stuff that is happening here. I would have Nuge down. I know we're not nitpicking the thing you're just doing the cap example, but like, they really do need to find someone to play with McDavid for the next couple of years.
But again, Podkolzin,
they have the ability.
You go Podkolzin, Savoy, Draisaitl is your second line. Your third line is Nuge, Freddie, and Ike Howard, and then that top line left wing spot's open.
Yeah. I like it. I like what you've got going on here.
Yeah. So again, this lineup here, if you take Janmark fully out of the picture, they would have about $11.5 million in cap space.
I think they will. I think Bowman this summer is really gonna try and get some of these guys
get
out
them younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 rookies on the fourth line is tough. Yeah, but like, move things around, Mulick, right?
The idea is just like the cap.
Yeah.
Like, sure, like maybe Clattenburg doesn't make the opening night roster, and it's Lazar, like you said.
Yeah.
Like maybe just someone like that.
You'd make it work.
Fine.
All right, that's a wrap. Tomorrow is our last pre-deadline show, so we'll continue the trade talk. Obviously, no game tonight.
Do you think we'll be live later?
No. I think the trade's coming on deadline day.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. What about you?
Will I be live?
Well, like, do you think we're going live?
No, I don't. I think tomorrow. I do think tomorrow we might go live a bit earlier.
All right.
That is my thought. I'll be in Fort Saskatchewan today too, so at 5. So I'm hoping I can be there.
I got curling practice tonight.
Oh, we're busy, so we can't go live.
I would miss curling practice if a trade broke. Maybe.
But I don't think so. Literally nothing has happened whilst we've been live.
Yep, you're right. You know what we should do to end the show? I should roll up this rim.
Come on, max prize.
What is
car.
I wouldn't want the pontoon boat. I wouldn't know what to do with it.
Mulek said, will you go live if it's just a Mangiapane dump? No.
With the what?
I'll make you
I'm not missing curling practice for that.
I think we all know it's unless there's something attached to it, then we're not doing it. Oh, go in with the teeth on it. Interesting.
LLLLL.
All
right, everybody. A lot of you watching the show today, so appreciate you guys. Thank you to Jeff Marek, DJ Bean, Pat Puff producing today because Aaron's off to Toronto for our big deadline show. Giddy up. That's a wrap on today's edition of the program. We will see you all tomorrow. Noon Mountain, oil up. What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Every Day, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything